Hi there, Trisha here, and I want to go over the trades that I took today, Wednesday, March 4th, using two trade setups off a smaller tick chart and a longer tick chart. And we use three charts with confirmation of indicators before we ever take an entry. And I do want to remind you that what I show you is based on trading one contract. When you do trade multiple contracts, it is definitely easier to take larger gains because you can exit in stages. So anyway, if you want to check those out, www.easyminitrade.com. I did want to point something out. Somebody that I was talking to earlier today via email had a question about a trade that he took at 9:41, which would be about on this bar here. I'll blow this up a little bit. Was on this bar here. He took it long, and I wanted to point out why you wouldn't take that long. He was taking it based on the automatic trend line break and drilling down to our smaller tick chart for entry. So his entry would have been approximately over here on our smaller tick chart. So everything in confirmation, when you look at that trend indicator above 20, lines in correct alignment here. But what I want to point out is when you take a setup off the longer tick chart, we say you don't have to have the squeeze indicator firing off to take an entry. However, you do want to make sure that the momentum is the right color for the entry. And what I mean by that is he's taking this entry here long. He's above both moving averages. Everything's all right here. But you have the momentum basically telling you something different. It's red, which is signaling, more or less that you would be looking for a short. So everything is not in alignment, even though we don't use the squeeze to take our entry off the automatic trend line break. You would at least want to see the momentum being green for long and red for short. So that trade did not work out for him, and I just wanted to point out about the momentum, that you really want to have it in line with the direction that you're taking the trade, even though we're not looking for confirmation of a squeeze to take that entry. So just wanted to clarify that in case there was any confusion. So the first trade that I took today was at 11 o'clock. Well, that's when the first trade was actually firing off. It was actually a little bit after that I got in at 11:01 approximately, a little after when I got in. And we have our indicator going higher, price going sideways, so that's divergence. Our trend indicator is above 20. Our squeeze is firing off. This is the bar that's setting up here on our longer tick chart. So everything's in alignment to take this long. So anyway, hit a market order, got filled over here at 7:09. And I did want to also remind everybody that if you're trading multiple contracts, hopefully you're getting out in stages. If you're trail stopping, that's fine if that's what you're choosing to do. If you were just using the trail stop method to exit, you would have exited this trade, would have got stopped out over here for a gain of 1.25. However, if you're exiting in stages, like for example, I usually like to exit in 3 stages. So I got my +2, +3.5, and then stopped out on that final lot at 1.25. So when you do get to the point where you are able to trade multiple contracts, in my opinion, it is a little easier to take profits, just because you're going to turn profitable sooner, so it's easier to let that last bit run and, just see where it gets you. And again, your choice how you exit a trade, but that's how I choose to exit. I know a lot of people will just trail stop using, on their whole entire amount of contracts, but that's not how I choose to exit. I like to get profits, as soon as I can. So as I've said before, I usually like +2, +4, and then trail stop that last lot. Here lately, I have been using 3.5 or 3 3/4 for my second fill, just because it seems like we don't get to that 4 to get out. So just trying to get a profit on both those lots before I trail stop out. The second trade that I took was at 310, a little after 310 and a half. And This was a scalp trade, and we have our price going sideways here, indicator going higher. We have our scalp trade setting up, firing a blue dot, and this is the bar that is where we're getting in on. Actually, it's setting up on this bar here. The bars previous to that are both closing above both moving averages, so we're okay. This indicator is in alignment. Our trend indicator is above 20, so all is a go for that trade. We get our first blue dot, hit a market order, get filled over here. Believe that bar there at 720 and a quarter. And again, if you're just using the trail stop method to exit completely, you would have got stopped out at 1 3/4. If you were using, exiting in stages, you would have got your +2 and then got trail stopped out at 1 3/4. So anyway, those were the 2 trades that I took today. I took 2 scalp trades. First one for a gain of 1 1/4, second for a gain of 1 3/4. And again, that's if you're trading one contract. And if you are going to increase from one contract to trade multiple contracts, I would definitely suggest starting in the sim account before you do that, so you get used to exiting in stages, using your OSO orders or your OCO orders. So anyway, you can check those out at www.easyemintrade.com.